The hive of justice. The email arrived at 3:47 a.m., shattering 5 years of careful silence. Dr. Sarah Chen's name adorned the published research, urban pollinator networks and climate resilience, work that was mine. Every late night, every failed experiment, every breakthrough I documented in my lab notebook had been systematically erased from academic history and credited to her. The sting was immediate, sharp as 1,000 bee stings. My hands trembled as I deleted my university email account. I couldn't stay in that world anymore, not after watching my life's work stolen by the person I'd mentored, the colleague who'd promised collaboration and delivered betrayal. So I did what everyone in my family had warned would happen. I embraced the ridiculous dream they'd mocked for years. Becoming a beekeeper. My father had laughed bitterly at Thanksgiving dinner. What's next? Selling honey at the farmer's market like some hippie. You're an embarrassment to this family. Even my sister chimed in. Mom, maybe we should hide Sarah's degrees. She's clearly lost her mind. I packed my bags and moved to Detroit. The first year felt like dying. Urban beekeeping wasn't just unconventional, it was practically career suicide. Colleagues avoided me at conferences. Funding applications were rejected with comments about frivolous pursuits. My own family stopped returning calls. I survived on savings and determination, tending to my first rooftop hive atop a condemned building, watching neighbors whisper behind their hands. But something transformative happened when I stopped trying to prove myself to them and started proving something to myself. I began with one rooftop, 10,000 Italian bees colonizing a space that had known only concrete and neglect. Within months, wildflowers returned, then butterflies, then birds. The concrete canyon echoed with life instead of silence. Word spread slowly, then rapidly. Environmental groups took notice. City officials visited my rooftop sanctuaries. I partnered with community gardens, schools, senior centers, transforming 50 acres of abandoned urban space into interconnected ecosystems. My ridiculous hobby became a movement. Today, standing in my converted warehouse office overlooking the thriving apiaries that now dot our skyline, I smile at the irony. Dr. Sarah Chen's plagiarized research never addressed what I discovered: that bees don't just pollinate plants, they rebuild communities. The package arrived yesterday with my acceptance to keynote the International Urban Ecology Conference, not as a student presenter, as the keynote speaker. Driving home feels surreal. My childhood house looks smaller now, but the garden where Dad once mocked my bee fetish now bursts with the same wildflowers that transformed Detroit's wastelands. Dad, my voice cracks slightly. He turns, squinting through reading glasses. Time has etched lines around his eyes, lines that didn't exist when he last called me a disgrace. Sarah. His voice carries weight I haven't heard in years. Behind him, my mother emerges, her hands dusted with soil, the same hands that once dismissed my environmental work as useless tree-hugging nonsense. I. I didn't recognize your car. My father steps back, then forward again, studying me with confusion. You look different. I watch his eyes travel over my calloused hands, my practical clothing, the confident way I carry myself. Recognition flickers across his face like sunlight through honey. Dad, meet your daughter. I pause, letting the words settle. She's here because she's achieved something extraordinary. My mother's eyes widen as she takes in the garden, the same garden where she'd once scoffed at my crazy environmental experiments. This is beautiful. It's more than beautiful, I say gently. These gardens are part of a network I've created, 50 acres of restored urban habitat supporting over 2 million pollinators. We've increased local biodiversity by 300% and reduced urban heat islands by 4 degrees. My father's face goes pale. You're the urban beekeeper they've been writing about. I am. I pull out my phone, showing him articles, photographs, my TED Talk with 5 million views. And tomorrow, I'm presenting to the United Nations about scaling these methods globally. The silence stretches between us, heavy with everything unsaid. The years of rejection, the nights I wondered if I'd made a terrible mistake, the voice in my head that echoed their doubts. "You were right," my father says finally, his voice breaking slightly. "About me being wrong." My mother approaches hesitantly, touching a sunflower that towers above her. "Sarah, we were so afraid for you. We thought you were throwing your life away." "I know," I say, my voice carrying the weight of hard-won wisdom. "But sometimes the things we fear most become our greatest gifts. Sometimes the people who doubt us give us the strength to prove not just our worth, but our purpose." Dr. Chen's research still sits in academic databases under her name. But here, in this garden where life flourishes against all odds, here in the thriving ecosystems that prove ideas matter more than credit, here is my truth. This isn't defeat, it's redemption. Not vengeance, but validation that the path less traveled often leads to places we never imagined possible. My father wipes his eyes. Can you teach me about the bees?" I smile, remembering how foreign those words once felt. "I'd like that." As we walk through the garden together, for the first time as equals, I realize that the sweetest victory isn't proving them wrong. It's showing them that the dreams they mocked were never about me becoming someone they'd approve of. They were about me becoming someone I could respect. And that, perhaps, is the most beautiful ecosystem of all.